So
I
many
don't
things.
remember.
I'm pissed at everything right now.
I'm just mad
Except
at the
me.
world.
Just
Except you.
said
No,
What?
well, I mean,
I might wear dark clothes tomorrow.
okay.
Great.
let's not joke about things like that right now. The climate is not the best for those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's gonna be warm tomorrow, isn't it? Oh shit.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Global climate change or whatever they call it. these
So-
days. I keep changing the name of it.
Okay. Aviation.
Density, altitude.
Let's
God,
talk-
do we have to
The-
talk about
the
aviation?
Colesman, I remember it being very somewhat.
He didn't know what
Non-intuitive.
the window was till you said it.
What?
I invented the Colesman window. What are you talking about?
No, I think you learned
No, I
that
was
from
saying
this
on the
podcast.
G1000 though.
I don't care.
I-
my point is,
It's not as intuitive. Nothing is as intuitive.
as what?
A steam gauge with a nub, you just turn left or right.
100%. That's Barb's whole point.
Yeah.
What was your point?
You gotta
The
know.
yachts are hard to drive?
You gotta know it. Well, apparently they're super easy.
No.
I don't know why you make a yacht captain. They make more than you, and apparently you can do it in your sleep.
Right.
I guess.
We should also
Veins
become
of
yacht
Specialized.
captains.
We should. When you're American, though, you'd suck automatically. You wouldn't
Yeah,
even get
that's
hired.
true.
Anyways, I think,
It's somewhat sadly true in that industry.
is it not specialized? Yes, it is. Absolutely. They can't do what I do. I can't do what they do. Pretty confident in that statement.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean the level of cool-headedness that you're talking about is indicative at all of the peril.
I think those types of guys can go in. If they chose either path, it'd be the same though. If they
You know,
learned how
there's
to
a real
fly,
term for this. It's called the right stuff. It's a real thing. These veins
It's
of.
a real movie and a real book.
It is. I'm serious.
The right
Plural.
stuff.
I might have seen the movie. I can't remember. I definitely didn't read the book.
Oh my God, it was a great book. But that's the whole thing is the nerves of steel. You could just the blood pressure didn't move. John Glenn was in the sky getting ready to burn up, and his blood pressure was just. It's a thing.
I was not born that way. I'll
Yeah,
tell you that way.
maybe-
I'm pretty high freaking strong if you
Yeah.
can't
oh, me
tell.
too.
But
Yeah.
I used to be that way. I'm not really that way anymore, though. I get like
what?
I get freaked out about stuff. I used to.
You
just,
seem super chill, Scott.
I'm pretty chill, but I used to be more chill.
Yeah, you got older and
I get older, and now I think about things more.
Well,
Mm.
that's
I used to not think
probably
about
the
things
acid
at all.
reflux.
Yeah, could be the
that's
acid
getting
reflux.
older, dude. You think you're it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Yeah, like I
You've
used to not
expanded out
like,
in what you're
thinking-
bringing in.
thinking about like crashing and dying was like it just never happened. And now it's like
Really?
now I get in the plane and it's like I think about these things.
Maslow's hierarchy.
Back
of
then it
needs.
was like it's like a video game, you
You're
know?
indestructible when you're a kid.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't even play
yeah.
video games. Imagine
didn't
the
even
kids
play
who
video-
do play video
yeah, I didn't even
games.
play
Maybe
video
they can
games.
they're more used to it, so they can.
Right. They can separate
they can
too.
separate
But
it more
back then it
easily.
was just like I don't know, maybe can you relate to that at all?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. I've said on the show
Yeah.
multiple times. It's weird that your risk aversion goes up the older you
Right,
get.
because it should be higher when
should
you're
be
younger
opposite.
because you have more years to live, and as you get
Exactly.
older, like you have less years to live, so you
in
should
your
be
70s and 80s. You
Right.
should be like, who
yeah, you should
cares?
be like, who cares? But then
Send
you,
it.
you think about things more. Well, I think it does come back down a little bit. I think like it starts to peak, and because I know older people that are like,
Your
whatever.
dad?
Yeah. Well, he's
Your-
still.
Your dad loosened up a lot more. I feel like now that he's gotten older.
Yeah.
Like he went drinking with us when we were in.
Yeah. Well,
in October, or
he definitely
wherever we were.
he
Jimmy
definitely-
Buffett's.
He definitely will drink more now that he is older.
Okay.
But I don't know about anything else because he's still like he doesn't like flying and stuff like that. He's not a risk. I wouldn't say he's a risk taker.
Okay.
You know?
Nothing about flying is risky. Don't let anybody.
Well, unless you're flying with me. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Unless you're flying in conditions that you shouldn't be flying in. That can be
Right.
risky. You know.
Clouds.
That's a broad statement.
Right. So if it's if there's clouds or something. If there's-
Lee flying, his conditions, Lee shouldn't be flying in a Learjet's very different than if you and I were
Yeah.
in
like-
a Learjet flying it.
Saying flying isn't risky is a little too broad because like there's plenty of idiot private pilots out there that are like,
Look at-
I can do this. I'm a private pilot, and then they
The
kill
king-
their whole family.
The
you know?
Kings call it the big lie. which is you're more at risk of dying on your way to the airport than the actual.
Well, it's true.
It's
Yeah.
true for the airlines.
Right.
It's
but
not true
for
at
general
all
aviation.
for
The
general
little-
aviation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's similar to motorcycles.
Yeah.
Like the
Right.
death per
Right. Death per.
whatever
Yeah.
metric they use. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
motorcycle
there's- yeah, that's-
territory.
yeah.
It's flying small planes.
That's it. I was talking to my dad about that because he was like talking about how Gandhi was going to get a plane and they were going to use the plane to go on vacations and stuff. And I was like, I just don't think that's a good idea.
No, not at
And
all.
he's like, why not? He's like, they could just get like a Cherokee 6 or a.
Anybody who's listened to
know,
the show a long
and-
time knows the
and
Gandhi
I s-
episodes will agree.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. And I said, that's just not a good idea. I said, that's like somebody who doesn't do it all the time should not be putting their family in a plane and flying cross country.
Yeah.
It depends on the pilot. I mean, it depends on the pilot, you know?
Yeah, but I still don't think that somebody who doesn't do it frequently should be doing it.
And I've
I
always
think you
asked
should
you
I
have-
to
agree. That's what I
define
mean.
this.
It depends on
know,
the pilot.
I know.
Define
I
frequently.
I just think you should have lots of experience and do it regularly before you're loading your family in a plane and flying across the country.
Yes.
Agree.
Like if you and I had kept
Like
flying how we used to do
right,
for the last
that would be
decade
fine.
and a half,
Yeah,
we'd probably be good to go take our families.
right. But if I were to buy a Cherokee 6 right now and get checked out in it, I would not put my family in it and fly to Florida.
If you put 100 hours a year on it, though.
Yeah, then maybe.
Okay.
But Gandhi's
Do
not,
it-
is
doing
Gandhi,
those
is
types of
Gandhi going to
flights.
put 100 hours a year on it?
No.
No. He has boats that he doesn't even use. Like
Yeah.
he bought a set of like really nice jet skis and he used them once last year.
Yeah.
Apparently,
that
boats
guy.
are more dangerous than airplanes, though.
He,
so
They
he's,
are.
he's the guy that has
Jets-
he's the guy that
idiots on
has
jet
the
skis
money.
are.
He's the guy that has the money to buy the stuff but doesn't have the time to use it or won't take the time to use it. He has
to
time.
be proficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't
Like
even
the
care
bees
When it
that
about
he
comes to-
said he was going
that
to
When
get.
it comes to airplanes, so proficiency is what we're talking about.
Right. That was my argument with him getting a 6-seat airplane for him and his family to go on vacation.
Bad idea.
Bad
You've
idea.
met Gandhi.
Terrible idea.
Terrible idea.
Yes. That is the situation where the family dies.
If everything isn't perfect, yes. Which is where we have to operate.
Yeah.
Which is why you guys look at me now like I'm crazy and like
But-
what happened to
but-
Lee.
but,
But
you
it's
know-
because I live in that world.
A few years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, get an airplane, whatever, take your family. I would have been like, it's fine. But now you're older and you think about it and it's like, that's a terrible idea.
Getting old.
Yeah,
Getting old is just a terrible idea.
it is.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped aging a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You turn
Well-
30 every year, don't you?
I do. I know.
I know.
I still get ID'd.
we're about to
I get
start
I get ID'd everywhere, and I'm proud of that.
We're about to sign a skincare line as the new sponsor. We're just trying to work our way up towards.
I could use one. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, I shouldn't say I get ID'd everywhere, but I do get ID'd frequently.
I don't.
So do
don't
I.
Anymore.
One time I didn't get ID'd. I was super pregnant. So
No. Well, I don't. I wouldn't.
Can't
There's
go
been
like
there's
that.
been a lot of times when I haven't got ID'd, but it still happens. If I'm at a place that doesn't know me, it's probably more likely that I get ID'd than not ID'd.
But how many times when you're pregnant though?
Well, I've been
Yeah.
pregnant a few times because men can get pregnant.
mhm.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but I miscarried every time. It may have just been a really bad poop. I'm not sure.
I think we should just next. Next.
I'm stuck on the.
You want
on
to talk
being
about
I-
this?
Being ID'd while pregnant.
My favorite is when men think that like going to the bathroom's like having a baby.
It's the
No.
same thing. It's the
Okay.
same thing.
Oh, gosh.
Airplanes. Airplanes.
You have
Airplanes.
You don't
My
have
favorite.
IBS.
Airplanes.
Barb is such a good sport.
What
Oh.
about going to the bathroom on an airplane? It can be terrible. My brother had diarrhea on an airplane once, and he
Up. Why? This has been a trend. This whole.
Get
every-
him down here. We'll
ran
see if
down
it's like
the
being in
aisle.
labor.
Ian.
You want to discuss? You could
he
discuss
ran
it.
down the aisleway screaming, "It's a shooting mess!"
The Spirit flight. No one bat an
No,
eyelash.
he was like, he was probably like 7 or 8 in his defense.
I'm gonna-
but,
I'm gonna-
oh,
I need more for this conversation.
Yeah,
clearly.
Please do what you need to do. That's what we do.
Yep.
You should see how antisocial we are when we're not drinking at all.
Yeah. Oh, if we don't drink at all, it's terrible. The worst episodes ever.
I'm doing a detox, so next time I'm up here recording, I won't be
That's
able to drink.
That's gonna be gay.
I know.
Not that anything's wrong with being gay. DEI.
Yes. Okay.
Rob, is not the first time you've done a detox on.
That's
It's
true.
not.
Yeah.
I know. I've not drank for
P1
episodes
listener.
before.
But how
this
much,
is going to be like
how
a
much
multi-month
crap
one.
do I get if I'm like, oh, I'm not drinking this episode?
Oh, because Scott, you need it.
If you were doing something
know,
and
Nuh-uh.
you planned it, not like, no, like I'm gonna get wasted this weekend, but it's a Thursday, so I'm not going to for the show.
I
That's
only
what
buy
makes me
enough for the weekend,
like-
and then it doesn't
if you're
last
like-
me. I run out. I just run out by the
If you're
time
like,
the
I'm
weekend.
Run out.
detoxed, if like, hey, I'm doing
Good
a
impression.
detox, I'm not gonna be able to drink this. Totally fine.
Well, next time I'll phrase it properly. I'll say I'm doing a detox on Thursday
Like,
so
shut
that I
up.
can drink on Saturday.
Yeah.
No, I would say just plan differently. I think is the point we're trying to make.
But I have a very
Right,
strict
you're
schedule.
There's
I
got to
get-
be like a month notice
get
to
up
not
very-
drink for podcast episodes.
And then we wouldn't
As a
schedule
host.
a podcast while you're doing that. And then we
Yeah.
would,
Okay.
you know.
If you guys want to
Let's.
do a podcast
Lee,
without me, that's fine.
When's okay?
you
So
talking
next
about?
time you're up here, you're not drinking.
I can't now.
Let's just get blasted. Let's get so drunk that we can't even function, just to piss him off.
You know, that would
'Cause he'll
be
like,
very
you
fun
know
to
how-
listen to.
You know what the most irritating thing in the world is?
What
Is when you're trying to be sober and everybody else is drunk.
Yes.
Let's.
Especially, I feel like for Rob, because when we get derailed, he gets very like, no, guys, let's go
I
back
know.
to the,
Yeah.
you know.
This show would be about going down aisleways of spirit, screaming
It wasn't-
inappropriate
it wasn't
things.
Spirit.
It'd
We
be
were playing-
about
it was like
yacht
some, like,
drivers.
It was like Sun Air or something. It was way back in the day. Spirit
Okay.
didn't even exist.
Oh.
Another
We
derailment.
were,
of
we, were,
shots.
we were on a DC-10, if that tells you anything. When did they stop playing those things?
I have no idea.
It was a DC-10 going into Jamaica, and he was running down the aisleway yelling, "It's a shooting mess."
Oh boy. Barbara, what you're saying?
God.
I don't know. I
Oh.
don't know.
Neither did we.
I completely forgot about what we're attempting to even talk
I'm
about.
the only one taking notes, and my notes are terrible.
Lee,
Yeah.
you need to stop doing that.
We got
I
15
have
minutes to talk.
so
Nobody
much.
takes notes.
I know.
What do you got,
We're not in
Barbara?
college.
No,
I
I
need
do.
some-
I
We
have-
can
No,
talk.
Lee's not in
Barb,
college. I told him
Barb,
he's not
I
taking
need
notes.
something like 15 minutes of stuff so I can make a segment and actually have a title other than it's a mess down
It's a
aisleways
shooting
as the podcast
mess.
title
Mm.
of the bonus clip.
Barb, we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. I mean,